Welcome to another episode of More Than a Barber. I am your host, AP, and check this out. This is a podcast for helping inspiring barbers level up their career with valuable content. Today, we have a super dope guest. I can't wait to get into this conversation. But before we do your boy a solid. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel because we're building a community and we want you to be a part of it.
Click that button.
Huh?
Click that button.
Click that button. Click that button. So make sure you subscribe, follow. We are literally building a community that's going to help barbers.
Yes, sir.
But today, we got a great conversation. This guy is one of the dopest barbers that I know in the industry. Not just a barber, but a content creator. He's from Lawton, Oklahoma. A visionary. Let me just go ahead and read it because you got to know all the gems.
Oh, man.
He's a visionary. He is a business leader. He's figured out a way to carve and niche his style as an educator, as an influencer, and as a pioneer. None other than my guy, DJ Cut It.
Man, what's up, man?
What's up, man?
Crowd in here. Like, hey.
Let's go.
Dang.
Man, I had to write it down
That's
because
my first real intro. Now that I sit here and think about it, like, man, that's crazy. Okay.
man, I had to do it
Appreciate
because
that.
it's so much, and it's more to you. But I
Yeah.
had to go to the chase, cut to the chase, and let different ones know who you are, what you represent. I mean, I was like last night thinking about this episode today. Like, yo, I cannot wait to have this conversation with my guy DJ Cut It.
Already.
Let's get into it, man.
Let's do it.
Look, so as a content creator, as a barber, as a host of a podcast, oftentimes I watch different barbers and I personally handpick who I want on the show.
Right.
And with that, I learn about you from afar.
Okay.
I'm like, this guy's content is amazing. He posts often. That's one thing I noticed, that you post a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But then it was like you had a commercial within a reel, which
Yeah.
is super creative.
Yeah.
Shout out to Miss V and
Shout out to Miss V at Clutch Barber Supply.
Yeah, shout
Definitely.
out. So I'm like, he figured it out. And I'm saying all of that to say that you are carving out the pathway and introducing a way of being a creative, innovative barber, not just for you,
Right.
but for those that's coming behind you. Man, walk us through this content creation play, because I'm interested.
Well, it started with me really wanting to just be an educator in general.
Yeah.
I've been in business this year is 20 years.
Let's go.
But it started year 16, 17. I wanted to get into education. So I went to a barber school. Shout out to Deuce in Oklahoma City, Twice the Cuts.
Yeah.
Got my license. And we'll talk about how I dropped the ball on that later because I got to go back and get some review hours. Like, man.
Gotcha.
But when I got my license, Curtis Smith that owns Exotics, I had been going to his shows. Anytime they come down here to Dallas, I had went to one in Denver before. So me and him had got real familiar. That's also how I started building a lot of the relationships that I have now that are just the running joke with a lot of my friends is like, man, you new to the industry, but we've been friends forever, like a decade. So I got through with school. I had posted, of course, man, I got my light barber, got my master's license, instructor's license. I'm ready to rock.
Yeah.
Curtis calls me because I had to go to Oklahoma City to get it, which is an hour and a half drive every day. So on my way home that day, Curtis calls my phone. He's like, man, congratulations, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, man, appreciate it. I'm already in awe. Like, dang, Curtis Smith watching my post. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Man, that's what's up. He invites me to Atlanta to teach with Todd Bernard, iCut Pro,
Okay.
Angel Ross, Mike Sharp out of Philly, Heaven. Her name was Heaven, the beard goddess.
Okay.
And I think there was somebody else, and forgive me if I'm missing. I know Curtis taught also that day.
Right.
That's also the same day I met Hawk. Because he was just in the crowd, and I didn't know who he was, and they introduced him. I was like, whoa, man, dude, big deal. He's sitting like right here from me.
I got you.
So that was my first time teaching. That was when me and Angel got to started building a relationship a little closer because a guy that I grew up with went into the Navy. Got out the Navy in Jacksonville, became a barber. Ended up running. At one point, Angel had 3 shops. My buddy Mike, shout out to Mike Luck, the barber 904. Mike was running one of his shops. Like, this is one of my childhood friends.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? So now I'm seeing Angel in passing at shows, and it's like, oh, you Mike's homeboy. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? Blah, 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 blah. I want to get into creating content around education. So I get this camera from one of my clients. I have no idea what I'm doing with it, but Angel Raw's teaching a camera class at like BarberCon in Dallas. So I go catch the class, cool, get some info. And me and him are familiar, but at this time I'm not comfortable enough to hit him up on Instagram. I'm like, I'm still in that mind frame, and people don't like to admit that there's a phase like this as a newer barber where you're kind of in awe of the bigger names, the bigger followings, the people that's on the stages. Like, man, that's Angel Rawls, man. I ain't got time to be hitting him up. He probably busy, man. And you know what I'm saying? So I was in that mind frame. So what I did was make sure the rest of that year, the next 4 or 5 shows I went to was shows where he was teaching that class.
Smart.
So maybe show like 4 or 5, he's like, bruh, are you following me? Like, what's going on? What's up? Well, are you all around the country? Are you with a company? Like, what's going on with you? And I wasn't realizing at that time that it's so rare for somebody to travel like that that's not connected with a company. So I'm to a lot of people, I'm looking like I work for somebody because you didn't see me all year at all the major shows, and you're like, oh, what's up, man? Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? You know, just in passing.
Yeah.
So Angel's like encouraging me now, like, man, just do this, do that, telling me how to put up the lights. This is the lighting. This is how you set a mic. This is how you do some of the technical things. So through that, we get closer. Now I want to go take the S&P class. So I hit him up. I take the class, go down there. The class is 3 days. Wow. The person that took the class with me brought their significant other. So every day at 5, they taking off going to see Jacksonville. Me and Angel just hanging out, go across to the shout out to the Juicy Crab. That place is great.
Let's go.
Going every day, and now this is where he's like, hey man, now that you're making content, you need to like really push. Like, you know, I know you want to be a shop owner and you want to own a school and all these other things. That's kind of the old school way, man. If you notice, like most of the top guys in the game, they don't have a shop that they own and all of that. And I'm like, yeah, I don't care about what they doing. Like, I still have my vision.
Right.
But I was like, I do dig what you're saying as far as go ahead and let's get more creative, get me going, just thinking about some things. So he sent me a couple videos on like, you know, composition, lighting, things like that. Mm-hmm. Right, maybe a week or two later, Chico Boom, shout out JRL, puts out this post and it's like, hey, JRL is looking for ambassadors, for content creators. Wow. Send me your headshot, your resume, and your bio. And so I send it in. But, okay, let me back up a little bit. I had started making content and I couldn't figure out why my content wasn't doing nothing. And I mean, like, I got like maybe 7,000 followers, but I'm getting like 42 views, 7 views. Yeah. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Because my lighting is set up now. Yeah. I'm giving value now. Yeah. So, I had become familiar with Marvy Marv, bought a couple of his programs. So I finally just hit him up and was like, hey, man, do you do a mentorship? And he was like, I do, but I don't offer it to everybody. But I see you grinding because I've been following your page. So let's work. So I take his mentorship. It helps tremendously. It helps me understand like the structure of creating a hook, an analogy, the answer, the solution, the call to action. Like there's a formula to some of these things.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, cool. Take that. Same time, Barber Phil, shout out to my teammate from JRL, we fly him into the shop to teach us shear work because we're predominantly black shop, old school shop. So when we first started, it wasn't a lot of white clients, but now we got some Spanish people, we got some white guys. Yeah. So the clientele is getting more diverse. I want everybody to be up on their shear work. We team up, pay the man to come in, hang out. But at this time, he's also getting heavy into content. So he's talking to me about content. And then him, Marv, and Angel end up doing a little tour called the Content Kings. So now 3 guys that I rock with are together in one spot. So I catch them down here in Dallas at Fort Worth Barber Supply.
Yeah.
Go to that. And after that, they kind of all like, was like, hey, I'm going to take a look at your page. Like, something's going on. Like, we don't really know. One of it was I was posting so much and one day you was missing stuff. So I was in the phase where I was like posting 5-6 times a day.
Wow.
But I might be not posting Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, when it's slow, I'm posting all these cuts. I'm posting all these gems. I'm doing all of this. And so it kind of leveled out after that. When Boom puts out the call that they looking for ambassadors, I use these 3 as my references.
I got you.
So, and me and Boom have a relationship because I've been rocking with exotics forever. So I'll put it in like the proper way, and then I call him and I'm like, hey, I know, don't nobody got these references I got. It might be some people that's killing me in the video part.
Right.
I'm new to it. I got it. You know what I'm saying? But I know ain't nobody got these references I got. And he's like, well, who's on you? He asked me. So I'm telling him, he's like, oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good lineup. He was like, all right, man, well, you know, I'll make sure I look at it and give it a good look. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, the homie was fair. He ain't just be like, all right, I'll put you on.
Right.
You know, and so they hit me back and was like, yes, we're going to rock with you. Send us a sample video or send us a video once you get your box. They send you this big box of stuff when you first get on. And so I did a video where it was like, I opened up the box, of course, stuff is flying out the box, but the video ends with all the stuff around me and I'm signing a piece of paper. It's kind of like a signing day type situation. So he was like, oh, okay, yeah.
That's dope.
I like that. Let's go.
That's dope.
And
so at what point surrounding yourself around these super dope content creators who obviously already have a name for themselves, not just in the haircutting space, but also now creating content.
Right.
How long did it take you to get comfortable with shooting content as a barber, saying, yo, I did that? Like, how long did it take you to get confident?
Not long, because I'm naturally a person, I don't mind speaking in front of people. I was the class clown in school.
Got it.
I've always been outgoing. Like, I'm the guy in the friend group that's like, oh, it's a table full of girls over there. Hey, let's go.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with like public speaking or any of that. So for me, it was like the only hurdle was feeling like I don't know what I'm talking about. And that kind of got solved, like I say, with doing the mentorship with Marv, where it was like, hey, this is the information. This is how you can structure how you're going to say the information. Right. Once you do that, and it's like, oh, okay, I know the point that I'm trying to convey. Let me put it through this structure. Boom. Now I'm good.
So with the more so with the videography piece, because there's always a barber watching to say, how did he do it, or at what point did he get comfortable shooting at this frame rate or shooting with this type of camera?
So my first camera was a Cameron 80. I can't even think it really was 80 SD or something, 80D or something. And it wasn't bad at all. It was good. Like, even when I first started using it, Angel was like, it's an older camera, but it's a great camera.
Got it.
And I was like, oh, okay. So I really didn't know what I had. I'm just shooting.
Gotcha.
I'm just shooting. And then that camera breaks. And the only reference I have for cameras is Angel, but he's a Sony guy. I have been using Canon. So I literally just Googled what's Sony's version of the A7 III or whatever it is. It says Canon R10. I look it up. I'm like, it's $1,000. Damn.
Yeah.
All right. So am I really going to commit now? You know what I'm saying? So I buy the camera, buy a lens. I'm like, all right, I'm really all in now. So, and then there was things that I still didn't know about composition. Like, I didn't know until my China trip. Like, so a lot of what I do is just based off of just sheer effort and grind. Like, I put the camera up. I know what I'm about to say. I know these lights look cool, and that's it. It wasn't until I went to China and I met a guy who works for JRL. He is from the UK, named Danny. And he's like, man, you know, you should do some more revealing shots, putting stuff in the foreground. And I'm like, oh, okay. So then I'm talking to him about that. Next day, I'm talking to Poppy Blends about composition. Then I started talking to Squeak about composition. They're like, oh, yeah, you should do this. These are leading lines, and this is the rule of thirds. And I'm like, oh, okay. Excuse me. So all of those things were things I was ignorant of till, what is this, January, February? So just 120 days ago. I didn't understand, like, the angles, what we call them, but it's really called composition. So for me, I'm still uncomfortable in some senses with the camera because I'm just learning what to do with certain things. I'm just learning that what an establishing shot is, a detail shot. What's the purpose of a close-up? How does a wireframe and you being in the middle make the person feel with the shot? I didn't understand any of these, like, cinematography concepts. I literally, like, put the camera up, say what you gonna say. It looks cool when you turn the blue light on in the background.
Absolutely.
Put the light in front of you and just go. And just keep going and just keep going. And then things start happening. And I'm not afraid to I'm not afraid to network at all. Same way I reached out to you and
Right.
did that. Like last year, I did questions. I asked people questions for CT Expo, but I just held the camera for Tank. Tank was the guy with the mic, like, hey, man, what's the importance of going to expos and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I did that just because I hit up Jay Majors and was like, hey, bro,
Yeah.
I would love to do something for you. I'm going to come out there to May. I mean, anything you need. And he was like, man, you could get people to ask questions. And I was like, okay. Like Tank did last year. He was like, exactly. So I called Tank and was like, hey,
Wow.
you going to do that this year? He was like, I can. I was like, all right, bet. I'll bring the camera. You know, and so being willing to work, like the homie Danny say, that's how I got on with Danny, the success addict. Being willing to do the work without getting paid first, sometimes will just get you in the mix. You know, and once you're in the door, if you actually have work ethic, then you're going to get an opportunity. And it's up to you once the opportunity is out there, are you going to capitalize?
Yeah, I'm hearing you, and I see what you're cooking up. You didn't get to where you are today because someone put you on. You know, that's a famous statement. Hey, bro, put me on. They get a DM, bro, put me on.
Right.
You literally worked your way to where you are right now. And I feel like just looking at that, you absolutely have to have a grind.
Oh, yeah.
You can't just, you can't just get to a certain a level of playing where you don't work at it. You don't grind for it.
Right.
So you basically put yourself in position to get opportunities. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So one time I was arguing with, I can't even remember, it was an influencer, older guy.
Uh-huh.
He's like, I hate how barbering is starting to look like rap. And we was just having this discussion.
Yeah.
But since then, I've used that analogy so much. And so for me, it's like, if it's going to be like rap, then like I say, how are you going to present? Is it going to be a media rollout when you put things out? How are you going to get noticed?
Yeah.
For me, it was like, all right, I'm going to be that guy that's in everybody's video that you like, damn, man, I just seen him in so-and-so's video. Damn, man, I just seen him in so-and-so's video.
Yeah.
Like, who is that?
Yeah.
So that by the time you actually see me in front of the camera, you like, oh, I've been seeing him. I know. Oh, I see him. I see him at Premiere with Danny. I see him at BarberCon with Angel. I seen him talking to Marcus at the Plug event. I seen him with AP at the Plug event doing this. I see, once you start actually building those relationships, then when it's time for you to do your thing, it's more so natural. Now, I'm not asking you to put me on because I done did so much work. I'm really asking you to just, I guess this is in my version of put me on is, so I've done all this work. Now I'm finna try to do my media rollout. So I want to do more barber podcasts. So when I go to Miami here in 2 weeks and do our training for JRL, I'm going to talk with everybody that's there and be like, hey, if you know anybody with a barber podcast, put me on. That includes Marv, shout out to Marv, Will Stam, the Razor Sharp, the United Barbers Club, anybody that has a barber podcast, I would like to be on and taking them's podcast, like any of that. And if I think somebody that I rock with has more influence to make that happen, I don't have a problem asking for that. Like if I think Boom can get me on Marv's podcast, then I'm gonna say, yeah, hit Marv up for me. Now I'm gonna hit Marv up myself and be like, hey, bro, what I gotta do to get on Gym Talk with you?
Yeah, but you got the body of work though, DJ.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You gotta have something to work with.
Right.
I can't, I can't do nothing if you don't have nothing to work with. Like at the Plug event, I got a video, man. And I wanted to use it, but I didn't want to embarrass the guy. But there's a guy that I got on video, and he's like, man, JRL, put me on, man. I rock with y'all, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And it's the normal thing that people do. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. But right now, when they Boom just put out another call for ambassadors. Like, hey, put in your resume, blah, blah. And I wanted to use this guy's video and be like, this is not how you get on. You know what I'm saying? This is how you get on and do Boom's video. But I don't want to embarrass the guy. So I was like, I ain't going to do that. But just understanding even stuff like that. So people ask me all the time, and I say, well, what else do you do besides cut hair?
Right.
Like, everybody that buys the clippers love the clippers. That's not going to make you stand out.
Understood.
You create content. What kind of content? Are you funny? Yeah. Are you educational? Are you entertaining? Like, you got vlogs? Like, how is that going to benefit them? Like, are people coming to your page for information? Yeah. Are they coming? What are they coming for? And can you, at the end of the day, turn this into sales? Can people come to your page and be like, "Oh, you got that new blow dryer? I was wondering how it worked."
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And can you describe the product? Can you vouch for the product genuinely without seeming like you salesy? Just telling about the product. And then the other side, once you get to that point, is describing the product in a way that's honest, but also that, God forbid, you're not with that company anymore. You can work with another company and you don't seem fake.
Wow.
And I learned that game from Ivan Zoot, because at one point he was with Andy's and then he was with JRL. I don't know if he's still with us or not, but I know he definitely is with Barbershop. And one thing I noticed was he never would be like, these are the best, this is the, like, he would describe the features of the tool.
Smart.
You know what I'm saying?
Game, bro.
Right. So if he's describing the features of the tool and he switched companies and now he's describing the features of these tools, there's really no break in the consistency of his character. You dig what I'm saying? There's no, oh man, he was an Andy's guy. He was all Andy's. Now JRL's the best. So you don't want to compromise your character also.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things that as you start getting into the space and talking with other people, you'll pick up game. It is true there is a different circle, because you'll hear things about other people in this circle and you're like, whoa, okay.
Got it.
And it's just like any other cliquish thing. Like, I just mind my business, bro.
Yeah.
Some people, they be like, oh man, did you hear this? Did you like, nah, not really, bro. Cause I'm not here for that. Right. I didn't get my opportunity until I was 40 something. Wow. So I'm not here to play the high school game. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here as a young man trying to develop my character through being cool and known through Instagram. And like, the challenge for being somebody that's 20 something in my position is way different than me. Right. If this all go away tomorrow, I'm gonna just go with my barbershop and go home and just live my normal life. Like,
understood. It's
cool. I'll just miss a few dollars. Don't get me wrong, and I won't get to travel as much. All the cool stuff that come with it, but it won't be devastating to my life or lifestyle. So,
understood.
That allows me a different freedom when I'm talking with people and when I'm looking for opportunities or opportunities get offered to me, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to be rocking with Buddy like that. I don't really like your brand. I don't really like how you talking or however that be.
Yeah. So you went from putting yourself in the right rooms to figuring out the algorithm on Instagram because you were posting 5-6 times a day. You got around the right relationships that helped you get to a certain point as it relates to content creating. Now you are one of the content creators for JRL, which is one of the largest barber brands. That is major.
Right.
And what I like about it is you don't have this story where you like, again, somebody put you on. You actually did the work for where you are today. One of your favorite famous, should I say, statements is helping barbers in small markets succeed.
Yes. Small market, big success.
Small market, big success.
It's going to be the name. It's the name of my educational platform.
Love that, bro. Love that. So you got the content space.
Right.
And you're helping these particular barbers. We talked about this offline, but what keeps you motivated helping barbers come behind you succeed in these small markets?
Okay, that's kind of multi-layered. What helps keep me motivated, wanting to help people, is just the opportunities, the things that the barber game has provided me. So I went to prison at 18 for 6 years. I came home at 24. 2 violent felonies, armed robberies. And most people with my past don't get to live the life that I live.
Wow.
Right. So it's like I've even struggled with selling any information. Like, I'm to the point now where it's like, all right, I understand some of the things that I have value. I need to be making some money doing these things, giving out some of this game. So cool, I'll put something together. But up until now, everything's been free just because I feel like I owe it to the game.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my give back for changing my life.
Yeah.
In particular with barbers in small markets, how that came about is when Curtis offered me that opportunity, I was like, yeah, man, but I was like, what's gonna make me stand out? He was like, I don't know, yo, that's your job. And I'm like, oh, okay. He was like, yeah, I need you to tell me before I just give you some opportunity. Like, what makes you different?
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I'm just a barber from Lawton, Oklahoma, man.
Yeah.
He's like, all right. And that was that. And basically until he let me go to that one, and then the rest of the tour got funky. But he was like, before we make another move, I'm going to need to know, what makes you stand out. And I had said it again. I was like, bro, man, I'm just a barber from Lawton, Oklahoma, man. I'm trying to figure it out, man. I'm small town. And then I don't know when, but later sometime it clicked, and I was like, I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm from Lawton, Oklahoma. I'm from a small town nobody's ever heard of, because everywhere I go,
never heard
it
of
be, hey, my homie Angel. To this day, we got a 12-year relationship. To this day, this boy I'll call his phone. It'll say DJ OKC. like it's just one of them things. But once I was like, okay, I'm from a small town, I'm from a small market, but I'm having this big success. And I was like, oh, that's kind of catchy. It's like, all right, well, if I ever do something, that'll probably be the name of it. And so as I started being more intentional about, all right, I'm gonna actually craft an educational platform. Man, because I've already been doing content, when I talk about content, I talk about who are you talking to? Who's your audience? My audience is, and my best advice always is, talk to the younger version of you. Talk to you from a couple of years ago. Because you already know the struggle, you know the mindset, you know what it took to get here, you know all these things. And so the me from a couple of years ago is a,
I'm listening.
the me from a couple of years ago is a barber from a small town, starting to have big success. What it took, what did you do, how did you make it happen? And so I was like, okay, that's gonna be my avatar. That's gonna be my business model. That's my perfect client is this person right here. And so, and so when I was doing that, I'm like, all right, well, this is who I'm gonna talk to. That's how I came with the small market big success. So then I struggled with, like, all right, well, it's hard for me because I'm from a small town. So when you try to do stuff in my town, a lot of times they'll be like, oh, man, you think this Dallas? I mean, you think this OKC? Type of mind frame, right?
Yeah.
But when you do that, it also triggers like, all right, well, how can I provide enough value to these people in my market where they don't feel like, oh, man, it's just a little money play because he done seen it happen in Dallas, so to speak. That's how I came with the beard service. I went to teach in Atlanta, and the lady did a beard treatment on me, and it was so good I went to sleep.
Wow.
So I never really got to take the class. So what I did was just like, all right, well, she's an esthetician. And because she's an esthetician, I'm sure that she was doing stuff with the face and facials and all of that type of stuff, what's going on with the skin under the beard.
Right.
So I just did a basic beard version of a facial, and I call it a beard treatment. Started doing that. And that was what allowed me to take my price from like $5, $10 extra on top of the beard to $50 for the beard service. So now that my price, I think at that time it was $30. But then I explained it to my clients, well, it don't make sense for your beard and your haircut to be the same price. So I had to raise my haircut price. That's how I got to $50. So now I have a $50 haircut, $75 beard and haircut, or $50 beard. And so people wonder how I was able to do that in a place where it doesn't have, like, luxury services ain't really a thing. I'm from a blue collar market. They like factory workers and military.
Yeah.
But if it's come across as something to help your beard be healthy, and the way you push it in that manner, help do it, and then the service actually works. You get out the chair and your beard is soft, and you're like, man, this is great. And so just learning that I had to actually have a real value add in order to make the money. And that's a common thing in smaller markets because people feel like, oh, man, they going to go for that. I'm from such and such. They ain't going to go for that here. This ain't L.A. They ain't going to go for, like, I was in Albuquerque last year, and it was the same thing. It's like, oh, man, people ain't going to go for that. This Albuquerque. And I always start, if I get on stage, I always start with where I'm from, the population, how small it is, what's going on there.
Wow.
Because more than likely, if I'm on a stage somewhere, it's somewhere bigger than where I'm from.
Wow.
So if I can make it happen in my population of 90,000 people, median income
That's what I was gonna
35,000,
ask.
then in Dallas, Texas, you can definitely do this. In Oklahoma City, you can definitely do this. In Albuquerque, New Mexico, you can definitely do this. So that's how I came with the small market big success. That's how I found my avatar, and that's gonna be the first thing that I launch. That's what I'm waiting to finish editing is my digital beard course before I launch my website, because I want to have something on my site that's not just information to hear, information to read. I want you to be able to come get something that's like a tangible service.
Yes.
I left here, did this, I make more money right now.
Right.
Like, because those are the things that really keep you coming back to somebody's education, and those are the things that actually keep you going back to shows. When you can go to an expo or go to a show and find something that you're going to apply as soon as you get home and make more money right away, you're hype.
Yes.
You cool when you get good information, don't get me wrong, but then you still have to go and apply the information.
Understood.
When you have the information, the tools,
Yeah.
you know, oh man, I got these products. I can't wait to do somebody's beard tomorrow.
Yeah.
Then it's different. The motivation is there, and it's going to constantly be there for a while because the client themselves is like, oh man, what's this? This is new?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, yeah, man, this is cool, man. Oh, it feels like peppermint. Oh, it is peppermint. Okay, yeah.
Absolutely.
All of these things. So, man, I'm just ready to help. I wanna
Absolutely.
help.
Absolutely. And the motivation piece is very powerful because you are in a small market, from a small market, that whole play. But I've seen your barbershop online. I've seen how it looks. Like you brought such a level of luxury in that area. What did your clients say when they see this type of, barbershop, luxurious, you bring a certain level of content? What are they saying in this small market?
They love it.
Yeah.
They absolutely love it, man. We've been blessed. We did the remodel like 5 years ago now. We were originally it was an 8-chair shop, sports theme back when fat heads was a thing, and we was like the first in our town to do that little whole thing. And then as I wasn't even an owner then. I worked with Trey. I've been with Trey since the beginning, but I wasn't owner then.
Got it.
What happened was we went. I wanted to be an owner, so I took some money that I had from real estate investment. We went to the bank, put it down, got a loan to do the 20-chair shop remodel. And the idea behind the remodel was we do want it to be luxury, but we still wanted to have like an industrial type feel because we're in a blue collar market. We didn't want people to be like, oh, this is too much. You know what I'm saying? So like our ceilings are exposed like an industrial place.
Understood.
There's one of the walls is actually cinder block. You can tell when you in there. And it is luxurious, but it still feels like, I don't know, like, you know how when they remodel stuff like in a downtown and they keep the original structure,
I got
but
it.
the place is nice.
I got it.
It's kind of like that.
Understood.
So that it took 5 months for the remodel. Wow. Bro, we was out the shop for 5 months.
What did y'all do to cut hair and to
So
sustain?
everybody split up and we went to like these different salons for relationships that we had.
Okay.
And then well, no, I'll take that back. First, we went to this hotel.
Okay.
And we had a client that was the general manager of the hotel. She let us use a hotel room. And so we cleared out the beds, and it was 5 of us, basically like in a circle. And you had to have an appointment because you had to come up to the hotel room. We lost some clients because, they was like, that's kind of weird.
Understood.
Which we get it, But most of those guys came back as soon as we did the remodel because then towards the end of the hotel situation, the owner of the hotel had caught wind of what was going on. It was like, hey, they got to go with that. So we had still like maybe another month left on the remodel. We split up and went to a bunch of salons that we had relationships with. But when we came back and opened them doors, man, it was crazy. Even our grand reopening celebration, DL the Master Barber, we had him out. And we had a braiding competition, haircut competition. It was like a barber battle. At that time, there was a guy named Jack Walker doing called pop-up battles in Oklahoma. This was back when Westbrook was in OKC. He was Russell Westbrook's barber.
Okay.
But me and Trey actually worked with him. He was ex-military, so he used to live in Lawton and work at the barbershop that me and Trey and all of these guys met at. I met him. That guy, Jack Walker, actually gave me my first set of professional clippers. I met him. He was on his way to go deploy because he was still in the military. He sold me his whole station for $150 because I had just got out of prison. And he had totally forgot about that. Like, he had moved on, got out the military, started being a barber, ended up being Russell Westbrook's barber. Yeah. We had another mutual friend that does art. We was at his art show. We looking at the art, and I'm talking to Jack, and I'm like, man, I really appreciate that, man, that you did that. And he was like, what are you talking about? We talked about it. He was like, man, I totally forgot about that. I was like, and that's why you blessed, bro. Because you really just looked out for me, like, and then to be who you are now, like Russell Westbrook's barber, you doing these barber competitions around the state, you really killing it. Yeah. And so I hit him up for when we was doing our big remodel, because like I say, me, him, and Trey met at the same barbershop. Yeah. So I was like, hey, bro, me and Trey did a remodel. We doing a re-grand opening. We want to have a battle. Like, can you just bring your pop-up thing to the shop? Because we got a whole bunch of space. He was like, oh, yeah, for sure. So then I hit up one of my other mentors, is Scissorhands in OKC. I used to work with him for a while. Back when I was still half-assing in the streets, back and forth, tiptoeing like a lot of guys do. Yeah. He took me to custom hair one time to an older ball player named PJ Brown. Okay. But in that we at the bar having a drink, and I'm telling Sister Hands all the stuff I got going on. And he turned to me, bro, and he was just like, man, why you just don't be a barber? Like, just be a barber. Wow. And it hit me like that, like a ton of bricks. I was like,
Wow.
man, you right, bro. He was like, man, I live good, bro, just cutting hair. I don't fool with none of that craziness.
Yeah.
You know, and then it was kind of just like a bell went off. I really locked into just
Absolutely.
being a barber. And then that set me on the right path to really be able to streamline into the industry, because that's what made me be like, barber shows, oh, I'm going to this. Education, oh, I'm going to that. You know, like, I went to a Pacino seminar when it was like a room full of people in a hotel room. You know what I'm saying?
I went to one too.
Yeah,
here
bro.
in
Like,
Dallas.
before it was anything like now, you know?
For sure.
So, I mean, I just always have loved the industry, have respected the opportunity that the industry has given me, respected the opportunity that Trey, who is now my business partner. Like, he didn't have to be a business partner with me. He didn't even have to take me with him.
Right.
When he fell out with the owner and I fell out with the owner at the same time, he was like, bro, I'm finna open my own shop. I just need somebody that's gonna come do what you've been doing here.
Facts.
That was it. We just had our word, bro. And I just rocked with him. 14 years later, I found myself with a family and in position to be like, hey, bro, typically in this situation, the guy that's me leaves and opens his own shop. I ain't really even interested in that. Like, I don't care that my name ain't on the door. I don't need a DJ's barbershop. Like, I've been building this brand with you for 14 years. We ain't never fell out. We've never had a big argument. It's just been, man, just rocking. Like, I don't want to leave. And that's what made us figure out, like, all right, how do we make, because this 8 chairs ain't going to be profitable for both of us. That ain't going to feed both our families. Right. But we got this big space. Back to some of the advantages of being in a small market. We got a almost 4,000 square foot space. Jesus. We pay $2,000 a month. Like, come on, man. You don't get that in Dallas, Texas.
You're not going to. That's going to be like $8,000 a month.
Right. So now let's fill it up with barber chairs. And there's still space for other things to go on. There's a whole space we use in the back for content creation now. So I forgot what I was talking about. But, man, the opportunity, the blessings, the opportunity, the blessings, the story. Yeah. It's all, man, it's all accumulative in why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I just love it.
It's so crazy because we did it backwards this show, meaning we talked about your success first in terms of content creation, how you got on, but you hit a hard spot before the success, which was getting out of prison and trying to figure out. I was watching last night doing some research how you did a video on the anniversary day of you getting out of prison.
Yeah, I didn't do one this year.
You didn't do one this year, but it was 2023, I believe it was. And you talked about, you're very inspiring is the point. You talked about what you're planning to do, how you're going to do it, that whole play. So we did it backwards, but it just shows those that are watching, like, yeah, you see the highs, but I went through a hard spot.
Absolutely.
You feel what I'm saying?
But I also tell people that's the beauty of barbering. Yeah. Nobody starts with clients. Nobody starts with a skill set. We all start at the same spot.
Let's go.
Now, you have a different life situation. Everybody's going to have that. But
so you think all barbers start at the same spot? Are you saying skill set? Are you saying not having clients? Bro?
Yeah, you wasn't born with no clippers.
Yeah. But
so you may have learned at 12. Yeah. I may not have learned till 27. But you still had to learn the skill set. Now you have an advantage because you had all that time to have those reps and understand dealing with people and all of that. But we all start not knowing how to cut hair. Understood. Nobody sits in your chair. Understood. That's exactly how it goes. Understood. And we all have the opportunity to build what you're going to build. Now, your life situation can definitely impact what goes on. I know that now for sure as a shop owner. Like,
understood.
If I interview you and I feel like your life isn't stable, I probably ain't going to hire you, bro, because I ain't trying to argue with you about being on time and all that old craziness.
Absolutely.
You know? So that just, it just all matters and it goes together. So for me, it's like, I forgot what I was talking about again.
Nah, you're good. Because what I'm saying is if we're starting off at the same level, meaning we weren't born cutting hair, but then we got to a space where we got good. Right. Where we built our clientele, where we built how to deal with, because a lot of barbers, they lack customer service. Right. They lack that, bro. Right. They're good barbers, good hair cutters. But what you talked about is we all start off on a certain level where, you got to build. Right. You got to build your clientele.
Now, I do think you have an advantage. That's where I think your personal life and your upbringing and all that has an advantage or disadvantage when it comes to the people skills. So
Understood.
one of the reasons I'm able to be so comfortable is I had a paper route when I was 12. And in my town, when you had a paper route, they would round y'all up once a month on Sunday and take you to a different neighborhood, and you had to sell the newspaper.
Wow.
So you would go door to door and solicit. I'm 12, I'm 13, I'm 14, like
So you got the
soliciting
game
to
young.
grown people.
Yeah.
Listening to tell them, no, thank you. And they're not being rude because you a kid. You know what I'm saying? But you still getting that no.
Yeah.
And so it's like, those type of things help me develop how to speak well, how to speak directly to a person. I don't have a problem with eye contact. I don't have a
Absolutely.
problem with being rejected. I understand it's not me, it's whatever I'm offering. Those lessons came early for me. For some people, they don't ever get that lesson until they get into the industry. You know, like I've had barbers that be upset because somebody don't speak when they speak back coming through the door. Hey, how you doing? And they just walk past and go to the other bar with their appointment. They're like, dang, they didn't even speak back. Like, yeah, I mean, you didn't really greet them for them to speak back. It ain't a personal thing. It ain't like they flipped you the bird and was like,
Yeah.
I ain't talking to you.
Right.
They just kept doing what they was doing.
Absolutely.
And so those type of things do matter, you know. And really once you get down to the meat and bones of it, like how you was raised and how you operate as a person outside the shop is super impactful on
It is.
how you're able to operate as a business. It's one of the things that Cole talks about, my man from Houston, Cole
Yeah.
Cuss Brand. Like,
Yeah.
if you're not developed as a person, it's going to be very hard for you to build the relationships to have the quote unquote high paying clients.
That's
you know?
that is a harsh reality.
Oh yeah.
DJ,
Oh, yeah.
that's a harsh reality. Here's why. I think where we are in the state of the barber industry, some of the barbers they're being derailed by the content that they consume. What I mean by
Okay.
that is they're focusing only on being a really good hair cutter. Or I want to be, a really good content creator, but not a really good hair cutter. But it all comes together.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Cole talked about it. Shout out to Cole Cuts. Like, you talk about it just now. It is true.
Right.
And we have to build better barbers by giving this harsh reality. Bro, if you're a trash person, like, doesn't matter how good you can cut. That means you may not have the best customer service.
Right.
That means you may not be able to offer that quality and experience.
Right.
Somebody DM me and is like, bro, how you getting $100 or $150 for a cut? I said, because I'm elevating the experience.
Right. That's it.
Give them the experience, a good haircut, a good conversation, right? Most men, and you know this, you're a shop owner, most men don't really have a safe space to go and talk about what they
Absolutely.
going through at home, what
Yeah.
they going through in the,
But if it gets even deeper than that, can
Okay.
you provide value when they have those discussions? So I understand younger barbers struggling with it because they haven't had life experiences to provide certain value, right?
Right.
So I understand just, be sticking to sports or something surface level like that. But even in that, you have to be able to have a real conversation. If you
Absolutely.
don't watch basketball, you're probably not going to have a bunch of basketball watching clients. It's just because they're going to come to talk about sports. You
Absolutely.
don't talk about sports unless you can build some type of common interest. It's from like, now I have some clients that they know I don't watch sports, so they don't even talk about sports when they get in my chair. We
Understood.
talk about business, we talk about life, we talk about entrepreneurship, we talk about other things, but you have to be able to provide some sort of value when it comes to the client having the conversation. So
That's
if a
so
client
good.
comes in and they're telling you like,
It's so good.
man, I'm dealing with, me and my girl, we arguing and blah, 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 and you listening to the argument, can you tell the client like, well, it sounds like to me the principle that y'all arguing about is trust. Like, she ain't really tripping at you when they had the drink.
I
But,
got it.
it sounded like she said, if you didn't say nothing about the drink. And your response wasn't really an answer. You just said what she did wrong. Like, can you help somebody
Yeah.
think like that and then go home and be like, dang, baby, da, 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 da. And then the next haircut, they're like, man, I went home talking with
Yeah.
my wife and blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. That's what makes that client be like, man, I don't care what your price is, bro. I'm going to rock with you. Those type of things, that type of value. And it's harder for a younger barber, but
That's what
You
I
can
was going to
still-
say.
yeah,
Can you
you-
teach that to a younger barber?
you can't teach life experience to a younger barber, but you can always teach a younger barber to share their life experiences. So, a barber, they got a 30-year-old client and they 22 and they 30-year-old like, yeah, man, my 8-year-old, man, going crazy at school, blah, blah, blah. This 22-year-old ain't got no 8-year-old. But maybe he got a cousin. Maybe your grandma helped raise you. Or maybe, yeah, man, when I was 8, I used to be real frustrated, man, because man, my grandpa died and he was everything to me. And, it's like my mom didn't understand that. That may just even spark that client to be like, yeah, my mom passed recently. You know what? My son been acting different since then. It may be just a viewpoint that wasn't presented. But if you can't even think to have that conversation, they're like, oh, your 8-year-old back. Yeah, man, kids is crazy.
Yeah.
There's no value there.
There's
so
no value.
The client is going to like the haircut, don't get me wrong, but if I can help the client navigate life,
absolutely,
then I definitely have more value than just the taper and the edge up that I just gave you.
Absolutely. Before I let you go, I have to ask you this question, and I know it's a dialogue within this question. How important is it for barbers to stay ahead of the competitive edge? It's a 2-in-1 question. That's one. How important is it for the barber to stay ahead of the competitive edge? And 2, how important is it for the barber to be a content creator?
How important is it for a barber to stay ahead of the competitive edge?
Yes. Because it's growing.
Yeah, but I don't think there's a competitive edge for anybody. I think, just like we was kind of talking about, you're going to draw the people. We're coming into the phase now that clients are going to choose people they relate to. There's so many barbers, and there's only so high that the skill set goes. Like, once you can cut, you can cut. So now, what are the other things? Are you on time? Is your studio nice? Is your shop nice? How's the experience? Is y'all in here talking crazy? Does it stink? Any of these things can be the deciding factor. Man, I like that shop, but man, before me and Trey matured, we used to play all kind of whatever music.
Understood.
And we've had plenty of older people be like, man, you know what? I love y'all shop, man, but that music, brother. So once we did the remodel to the look that you see now, we don't play custom music no more.
That's good.
Period. It's censored. And even if the content is kind of wild, like, hey, man, skip that one. You can kind of hear what's going on.
Right.
And the second part, and this is going to probably shock you, I don't think it's important at all to create content. And the reason I say that is because I just put up a post that I have a barber named Jordan. Jordan does not put out content. And there is a line of people every day to come see Jordan. Because at the end of the day, you can only cut so many heads. So the content creation is cool. And people don't really think about it like this, but content creation actually started as a marketing hack to get more clients, as opposed to going one by one. Hey, how you doing? My name's DJ. I'm a new barber. Blah, 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 blah. Content creation originally started as marketing to be like, well, you could reach 100 people on your social media more than one person hand to hand, right? So, but now we're coming into the era where there's so many barbers and there's so many content creators that it's like, it's getting kind of normal to be a content creator. Back to, how can I relate to you? You putting yourself out there. That's what we was talking about before it even came on. The vulnerability of telling your story, putting yourself out there. It's the same thing with gaining clients as a barber. Being who you are, clients will relate to you. If the content thing, if at the end of the day, you can only have, let's say, 200 clients a month. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I'm out shaking hands for the first year of my barber career and I build 150 clients, I'm going to build that other 50 off of not even off of social media, just off of word of mouth. I got 150 clients on my own. They're going to share the word. I could be booked. There's thousands, maybe millions of barbers around the country that are booked without social media. Most of them in our age group. You know what I'm saying? So
that's just crazy.
It's not required. It's just one of the things that is so prevalent and is so popular and it looks so cool. And now people are getting paid for it. And it's an extension of what you could do as a barber. So people want to view it as necessary, but you got to remember, if like TikTok went away, if social media itself shuts down, you still got to cut hair, and you still got to get people in your chair. And no matter what, the best, most efficient way is hand to hand, face to face, advertising, old school marketing. It's even part of, and I hope I'm not giving like some secret away. I don't think I am, but it's even part of Chris Bassio's Tune 45 mentorship. Like, I just got into that mentorship, that 6-figure barber mentorship. Part of it is, hey man, you need to actually go shake people's hands, talk to people. How you doing? I'm a barber in your area. I'm looking to get services, blah, 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 blah. So I don't think content creation is necessary. It's super good icing on the cake, But
That is
it's still
shocking,
cake.
bro. That's shocking. I thought you was going to give us some sauce. Do this, do this, do this, which you already have. But
Right.
to say you do not have to post content or be a content creator
At all.
is mind blowing.
At
It's
all, bro.
mind blowing because in my mind, I'm thinking.
And sorry to cut
Yeah,
you
go
off.
ahead.
I use the example of Jordan because Jordan is 27 years old. He's been with us since he was 22. He's been with us about 5 years. He's young.
Yeah.
He's easily could be like, oh man, I need to figure out how to create content. Jordan ain't worry about that. You booked, right? Create content for what? Because it look cool. Is that really what you want to do? Because he's a quiet guy, real low key guy. You ain't trying to get on the internet, but ain't you? And he don't try. And for what? Because he booked.
Well, we had one guest, Michael Irvin's barber,
Okay.
last year sometime. Blown away. He does not post. He said, I hate social media. That's what he told us. He said, and I'm booked. He said the same thing.
Right.
But it's very rare that you hear a barber say, I don't post content of my work
Right.
or my lifestyle.
Right.
Because you said it looks cool.
Right.
And it does. But if you're selling something, if you're an educational barber or
Right.
some barber that has some type of product, then that obviously
Yeah.
makes
Now, but
sense.
see, that's now if it's, sorry, pun intended, if you're more than a barber,
yes.
you know what I'm
Which
saying?
you are.
Then,
Yeah.
Then now you get into marketing yourself as a business.
Understood.
And then you definitely need content creation because every major business has content creation.
So
now,
you're
barbers still are
separating.
businesses.
You're separating. Just
Yes.
the barber alone, if you're not.
You don't have to.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But if you're somebody that's trying to speak nationwide as an educator, you have to reach people nationwide. They're not going. I mean, I guess I don't know how you would go about it because back in the day they would have whole rollouts. You would get with the team.
100%.
Back in the day, you would win a barber battle and I've won 17 barber battles, and that's how they heard of you.
100%.
So you still had to get out there and get out and about to do it by hand, by foot. Back then, now getting on because of your social media thing is a new phenomenon. If you talk to any OG barber, any other OGs that are in the industry that are educators, they most likely got on through winning barber battles.
Wow. That's
Facts.
almost like the right way.
Yeah, that's the traditional way, I would
traditional
say.
way, yeah.
You know, but
Gotcha.
now with so many battles and so many expos and social media, it's like, all right, the number of battles you'd have to win would have to be like super crazy. You'd have to dominate all the big ones. You'd have to, I won at CT, I won at Vegas, I won all the BarberCons, I won all the premieres. Like, oh, okay.
Then they'll
Dang,
know
buddy
who
is
you are.
suited.
Yeah.
Buddy's serious.
Yeah.
But if you winning the Lawton Barber Battle, OKC Barber Battle, this local Barber Battle in Dallas, like, yeah, you got 3 trophies, but the industry people that you're looking to be with, they wasn't there. So they didn't get to see it, you know?
So the time is different.
Time is definitely
We had to
different.
do barber battles. We had to put the trophies in the shop
Absolutely.
to let you know, like, we somebody.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Yeah.
what I did for sure. I won a few fastest fade. That's the only competition I ever got in is the fastest fade. But more importantly, bro, nowadays it's just different.
Yeah.
There's beef, OG barbers, young barbers, that little beef.
Yeah, I hate that.
I
man.
hate it too.
I think it's corny,
It's,
bro.
it's very much so corny.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we need each other.
Yeah.
There's some things that we can give them, and there's some things that they can give us.
And I think it's our fault. I think it's the OG's fault.
Why?
Because you're the more mature adult with life experience. For me, it's incumbent upon you to ease the path. Like, come on, bro.
I got
These
you.
now they're not kids, but these are young adults.
Got
And I tell my young barbers this all the time. I wouldn't hire 25-year-old me. 25-year-old me was off the chain. And you
Understood.
can't get no job up in here like that.
Understood.
But now the 45-year-old me is like, all right, I see a 25-year-old me. I met some younger influencers. I'm like, damn, buddy, think he a rock star or something. You know what I'm saying? But to them, they are because
are.
this is their world.
This
This
is-
is,
yeah.
you know, you got to understand what's
Yeah.
going on with them. This is probably this man's first time experiencing this sort of attention.
For sure.
So he's
For
trying
sure.
to navigate that, trying to
sure.
navigate manhood, all this, the ego, all that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like I tell people all the time, like, man, it's been so long since anybody really seen me take a loss. Bro, I've been popping a long time. Before barbering, before I've been a popular guy a long time.
I got you. So you know what it feels like.
Yeah, I know what it feels like for people to be looking at you, but oh man, like, bro, you still just a person. I don't care how much bread you get. I don't care. And I've had friends that have hit the $1 million mark. I got a buddy that do art, millionaire. You a regular person. Like, once I actually started building relationship with the Angel Rawlses and the Chico Booms and like they regular people, man. It's just what we do. And yes, you are on a platform, so you have to be responsible with what you say and how you guide people. But you're not somebody that's above reprieve.
I got to get you on a part 2.
Man,
But-
I would love it.
Yeah, I got to get you on a part 2. But before I let you go, can you share something with our audience that we didn't get the chance to talk about that you want to share before we pretty much head out?
That we didn't get to talk about. I didn't really come with an expectation of something to share. Other than what you was gonna ask, I don't think we missed nothing.
Well, I'll tell you this. You got to start the mentorship. As you are looking at other people and looking at what they're doing,
Right.
there's barbers looking at you, such as myself.
Right.
Like, DJ need his own mentorship program. I don't care if it's $5 a month.
Yeah, we talked about that before.
Bro.
The thing is
Structure.
is the structure of the mentorship or the structure of education.
Got it.
Like, I don't really know how to structure everything that I know. You know what I'm saying? So it's always easier for me to just have conversations about it. You ask me questions, I tell you whatever. Like when I created my content creation course and I created the beard course, I like them because they're steps. It's like, do this, do this, do this.
Understood.
This is how you do it. For me, trying to explain to you how to systemize how I grew the shop is like, I can't.
I think
it's
the
such a
same way.
long journey that I
It's the
really
same
can't tell you how to be like, all right, well, make sure you show up every day on time. Like, these are things that you already hear, but all those little things are what really built me. Trey would have never really wanted to do business with me, bro, if I wasn't already helping run the other guy's shop. That was my fallout with the previous owner. Was like, I'm just getting out of prison. We paying you 30%. I'm about to move out my dad's house. I've been opening and closing your joint for about 6 months. Can I pay you 20%? It would help me hugely. And he was like, no. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not finna keep doing these managerial duties. I'm gonna be like everybody else. And when I started coming late, doing what everybody else doing, we fell out. At the same time, Trey falling out with the guy about a whole nother issue. But Trey seen what I was providing. And he was like, man, if you just do what you've been doing over there, over here with me, bro, we gonna be straight. And this was the only guy I really got along with in the shop. So I was like, let's ride, bro. And this is something, against my father's will. And my dad is my Superman, bro. Wow. So when my dad was like, I don't think you should leave. This guy's already got a shop open, blah, 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 blah. I was like, man, I'm finna go, Dad. I know. You know, and I respect your rules. I've been here 6 months. I got to get out, go make things happen. I get it, but I got to make it happen. And so now this being 20 years, man, like, my dad's a tough guy, ex-drill sergeant. You know, I've only seen him cry a handful of times in my life. But here over the last maybe 2 years or so, he been real, real intentional about being like, man, I'm proud of you.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It'll make me swell with emotion just because
Understood.
I know what that affirmation means, especially from the hard dad that I had. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something that I tell my son often, but I know I'm going to always tell you because I know what it means. So fatherhood is a super, super important to me. It's man, the backbone of me and Trey's relationship.
Let's go.
It's the thing that we have booth renters, and that's one of the first things we discuss with them. Like, if you need to leave here to do something for your kids, leave. I don't care if it's 50 people in here waiting to walk in. Go do something for your child.
I love that.
We do not ever want you to be like, oh, I got to miss my kid's game. No, bro, don't do that. These people will get haircuts, but your kid will need your presence. Now, there's games that I miss because my son been playing. He's 18 now. Like, he at this point, he like, nah, we're going to blow them out. We won't worry about it.
Gotcha.
You know, but things that are fundamental to your child's life, man, we need you to be there because as men, you understand sometimes your rights don't get respected as a father.
100%.
You know, your baby mama could just up and leave with your kid, go all the way across the country if you don't have your stuff together. So in ownership, we talk about all of that too with guys like, hey, man, if you got a baby mama, get yourself on child support, get you a court order, get it understood, get you a geographical restriction, get everything lined up so you're not going through a whole bunch of stuff. Be willing to take your baby mama to court. If she go crazy on you, I mean, man, you got to be able to work the system the both ways. We tell them, it don't say mom and dad. It say custodial, non-custodial.
That's exactly
Those
right.
are the rules. But
That's exactly right.
I guess that's my extra life gym
Let's
for the
go.
show. For the end
Let's
of the
go.
show.
Well, how can they follow you, bro?
I'm on social media as DJ_cut it. My real name is DJ Zachary. I'm on all platforms. Not really. I'm not on. I'm sure I was on TikTok, but I was just getting started when the whole shutdown happened. So, I ain't been really trying to post on there. I just started my YouTube. I got one video up.
Let's go. We're going to support you, bro.
I'm just buying a laptop for my first time ever. So now that, because I couldn't upload all my videos to YouTube because they long form, I couldn't do them on CapCut. And like, it was on my phone anyway, and it was a whole thing. So now I got a laptop. I'll be working on getting more YouTube videos up. Hey, man, stay on the lookout for Small Market Big Success, the educational platform.
There you have it. Make sure you follow my guy. We gonna subscribe. This is family. He's a part of our community. We love his content. Do us a solid. Follow him. Check his content out. It's gonna help you. This has been another episode of More Than a Barber. We out. Let's go.